Chosen one, you are not here by coincidence, and you are not listening by chance. This moment has been marked in heaven, appointed in the Spirit, and released in perfect timing for you. Wealth is not always about money alone. It is about divine purpose, legacy, and elevation. And you have been set apart for more than survival. You have been chosen to break cycles, to end patterns of lack, and to establish something entirely new for your bloodline. Chosen one, when God sets his eyes on a person, he does not merely bless them for themselves. He appoints them as a vessel, a carrier, a living conduit through which blessing flows to everyone connected to them. That is why your spirit has been restless. That is why ordinary paths have never satisfied you. You are standing at the edge of a supernatural shift, where sudden elevation, divine provision, and heaven-sent transformation begin to manifest. Anointed one, Scripture reminds us in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, that the vision awaits its appointed time, but when it speaks, it will not lie. What has been prepared for you has not been delayed, it has been preserved. You are stepping into alignment with what was written before you ever recognized it. And remember, chosen one, God's reminders do not always arrive through loud words or explanations. Sometimes what sustains you is something quiet, simple, and steady to return to in moments of reflection. What has been prepared rests just below, waiting in stillness. Chosen one, you are here because something in you was already prepared before this moment arrived. I have learned, through my own seasons of confusion and waiting, that heaven does not interrupt a life randomly. When a word reaches you and settles deep instead of passing through, it is because your spirit was already tuned to receive it. This is not information, this is alignment. This is the kind of moment Ecclesiastes speaks of, a time appointed for a purpose under heaven. And right now, heaven is leaning into your story. Anointed one, I want to speak to you not as someone standing above you, but as someone who has walked through seasons where nothing made sense, where provision felt delayed, and where the calling felt heavier than the resources. I remember times when I looked at my circumstances and thought, if this promise is real, why does my reality look like this? And yet, every delay was shaping discernment. Every closed door was refining my vision. What I did not know then was that God was not withholding. He was preparing me to carry something without being crushed by it. Chosen one, there is a reason wealth has always felt different to you. You never saw it the way others did, even when you did not have it. While people around you spoke of money with fear, shame, or resignation, something in you quietly refused that narrative. You may not have had the language for it at the time, but deep down you understood that money is not a master. It is a tool. It is a carrier. It is a means, not an identity. That understanding does not come from upbringing alone. It comes from assignment. I remember sitting in rooms where people complained endlessly about lack, about systems, about how life was unfair. And while I felt empathy, I could never fully join that mindset. Something in me kept asking different questions. How does this grow? How does this multiply? How does this become sustainable? That same pattern is in you. You think in terms of systems, not survival. You think in terms of legacy, not just relief. That is not ambition alone. That is stewardship waking up. Chosen one, this is the first sign. You think differently about money because you were never meant to serve it, fear it, or chase it blindly. You see it as a seed. You understand, even instinctively, that what is planted with wisdom produces fruit beyond one season. While others in your family may have been taught that wealth is dangerous or reserved for someone else, you quietly rejected that ceiling. Not in rebellion, but in recognition. Your spirit knew that lack was not your inheritance. Anointed one, this mindset often isolates you before it elevates you. People may have misunderstood your questions, your ideas, your refusal to settle for just enough. I know what it feels like to be labeled unrealistic, simply because you refuse to normalize limitation. But what they called unrealistic was actually prophetic. You were seeing what had not yet manifested. That is how faith works. Hebrews tells us that faith gives substance to what is hoped for, long before it can be proven. Chosen one, wealth thinking is not greed when it is rooted in responsibility. You do not desire abundance to impress. You desire it to build, to stabilize, to protect, and to change the trajectory of those who come after you. That is why you think about ownership, not just income. That is why you imagine assets that outlive you. That is why your mind naturally goes to businesses, land, and structures that produce rather than decay. You are not obsessed with money. You are committed to impact. I need you to hear this clearly. This clarity was not learned by accident. It was entrusted. God does not reveal blueprints to everyone. He gives them to those he intends to use as builders. Scripture speaks of Joseph being shown the future long before he had the authority to manage it. The dreams came first. The maturity came later, and the provision followed at the appointed time. Chosen one, if you have ever felt out of place in conversations about money, purpose, or success, it is because you were not meant to blend in. You were meant to shift the atmosphere. This first sign is subtle, but it is foundational. You cannot build generational wealth with a survival mindset. Heaven rewired your thinking early because your assignment required it. And as we go deeper, you will begin to see that this way of thinking was only the beginning. What God planted in your mind was preparing you for what He intends to place in your hands. Chosen one. There is a weight you have carried for as long as you can remember, and it did not begin with you. Long before you understood words like responsibility or destiny, you felt it in your chest. A quiet pressure, an unspoken knowing that your life mattered beyond your own comfort. While others moved freely, making choices without consequence, you sensed that your decisions echoed outward, touching people you loved, people who came before you, and people who would come after you. Anointed one, this is the second sign, and it is not light. You carry generational burdens. I want to speak honestly here, not romantically. This burden does not always feel spiritual. Sometimes it feels exhausting. Sometimes it feels unfair. I know this because I have lived seasons where I felt like if I failed, it would not just be my failure. It would ripple backward and forward. Bills, expectations, unspoken hopes, and silent disappointments all seem to rest on my shoulders. And maybe you know that feeling too. Chosen one, many people live only for themselves. Their victories are personal and their losses are contained. But your life has never worked that way. When you succeed, others breathe easier. When you struggle, others feel the tension. It is as if your life has been appointed as a hinge point. That is not coincidence. That is calling. Scripture speaks of those who stand in the gap, those who repair breaches and restore paths to dwell in. You are one of them, whether you asked for it or not. Anointed one, this burden is not meant to crush you, though it has tried. It is meant to awaken you. You were born into a lineage that knew lack, disappointment, delayed dreams, or financial instability. You saw patterns repeat. You watched capable people shrink their expectations because survival demanded it. And somewhere deep inside you made a quiet vow. This stops with me. Even if you never said the words, your life has been shaped by that resolve. I remember realizing one day that my struggles were not random. They were training. I had to grow stronger than those before me because I was meant to carry further. I had to learn restraint, wisdom, and endurance, because what I would eventually steward required it. That is the hidden truth of generational burden. God does not assign it without also assigning the strength to bear it. He does not place weight on a life he has not reinforced. Chosen one, you have often felt like you could not afford to quit. Not because you were afraid, but because too much depended on you. That awareness can feel heavy, but it is also revealing. It means heaven trusts you. It means you were seen as capable of becoming the bridge between what was and what will be. Bridges feel pressure from both sides, but without them, no one crosses. Anointed one, this is why settling was never an option for you. Even when you tried, something inside resisted. You knew that accepting less was not humility. It was avoidance. You understood, even subconsciously, that if you stopped short, the cycle would continue. And God, who sees generations at once, placed that awareness inside you so the chain could finally break. Hear this clearly. Generational burdens are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of selection. They mean blessings are being prepared that must travel through someone strong enough to carry them without corruption. When the weight lifts, it will not only lift from you, it will lift from those connected to you. Your obedience will become their relief. Your breakthrough will become their testimony. And as heavy as this sign is, it leads directly into the next one, because the same God who places weight also ignites fire. Chosen one. There is a fire in you that refuses to go out, and no amount of disappointment has been able to extinguish it. This is the third sign, and it is unmistakable. You carry an unexplainable ambition, not the kind that seeks applause, but the kind that keeps you moving when logic says stop. You may have questioned it at times. You may have even tried to silence it, but it always returns. Anointed one, I want to be transparent here. There were moments in my life when I wished I could be satisfied with less. I watched others find peace in routines that felt suffocating to me. I tried to convince myself that wanting more was selfish or unrealistic. But no matter how hard I tried, that inner voice would not leave. It kept saying, "This is not the end. There is more ahead." And I know you recognize that voice. Chosen one, this ambition is not arrogance. It is not restlessness for its own sake. It is divine insistence. It is God's way of ensuring you do not abandon what you were created to carry. Ambition like this cannot be taught. It is not inherited from parents who never had room to dream. It is planted. Scripture shows us again and again that God places desire before fulfillment, vision before provision. Think about how many times you have been knocked down, only to rise again with no clear explanation. People may have thought you were stubborn or unrealistic, but the truth is simpler. Your spirit knew the assignment was unfinished. That is why setbacks never fully defeated you. They slowed you down, yes. They wounded you at times, but they never erased the vision. Anointed one, this fire often isolates you before it positions you. Others may not understand why you cannot settle into comfort, why average feels unbearable. They may say you are chasing something imaginary, but what they call imagination is actually foresight. You are seeing the outline of what has not yet formed. That is how God prepares builders. He shows them the structure long before the materials arrive. I remember seasons where nothing in my external life matched the scale of what I carried internally. That mismatch was painful, but it was also revealing. It taught me that my ambition was not dependent on circumstances. It was anchored in calling. The same is true for you. Your environment never defined the size of your vision, and that alone sets you apart. Chosen one, Most people dream within the limits of what they have seen. You dream beyond it. You imagine possibilities your family never considered. Not because you think you are better, but because you were meant to go further. Your ambition is not about escaping your past. It is about redeeming it. You are not running away from where you came from. You are carrying it forward into something new. This is why wealth is not optional for you. It is functional. It is the fuel required to execute what has been entrusted to your spirit. Without it, the vision remains trapped. With it, the assignment moves. That is why this ambition keeps pressing you forward. It is heaven reminding you that what you are carrying requires expansion. And as this fire continues to burn, it will soon confront another truth about you, one that explains why comfort has never been enough. Chosen one. There comes a stretch in the journey where the fire is still alive, the calling is still clear, but the waiting has grown quiet and heavy. This is the season few talk about honestly, not because it lacks meaning, but because it requires endurance without applause. You know the promise is real, yet days begin to look ordinary. The urgency that once burned loud now asks for something deeper than excitement. It asks for faith that shows up even when nothing new happens. Anointed one. This is where many misunderstand what strength actually looks like. Strength here is not intensity, it is return. It is waking up and choosing alignment again when yesterday felt no different from today. It is doing the same faithful things when there is no visible progress to celebrate. I have lived this season. I remember moments where I wondered if the silence meant I had misheard God. But what I learned was this: silence is often not absence, it is maturation. Chosen one, promises do not only require belief, they require stamina. Heaven does not rush what must be sustained. If what is coming to you is meant to last generations, then the preparation cannot be shallow. That is why this phase feels slow. You are not being ignored, you are being rooted. Trees that grow fast break easily. Trees that endure seasons unseen become immovable. Anointed one, fatigue does not disqualify you. Weariness does not mean you lack faith. It means you have been faithful for a long time. There is a difference between doubting the promise and feeling tired while carrying it. God knows the difference. Scripture speaks of those who wait upon the Lord, renewing their strength, not because they never grew tired, but because they kept returning. Returning to trust, returning to obedience, returning to the quiet knowing that brought them this far. I think of ordinary days, making decisions no one sees, paying attention to details that feel small, choosing integrity when shortcuts would be easier, choosing restraint when frustration rises. These moments rarely feel spiritual, yet they are where faith is proven. This is where your future wealth is being taught how to obey you instead of controlling you. Consistency now prevents corruption later. Chosen one, waiting seasons reveal what emotional highs never can. They show you what remains when excitement fades. They show you whether you trust God for who He is, or only for what He gives. This is not punishment, it is refinement. Gold is not rushed through fire, it is held there until impurities surface and are removed. What feels like delay is actually protection. Anointed one. There were days I wanted a sign, a confirmation loud enough to silence every doubt. Instead, what I received was the invitation to remember. Remember the first moment the calling became undeniable. Remember how far you have already come. Remember the quiet ways provision showed up before you could explain it. Faith is often steadied not by new revelation, but by returning to what has already been proven true. There is a quiet reminder gently placed below in the description or pinned comment, And sometimes noticing its presence is enough. Chosen one. Do not underestimate the power of staying faithful, staying aligned, staying honest before God when you feel tired. Heaven watches this kind of perseverance closely. Many want the blessing. Few are willing to remain steady when nothing changes outwardly. Yet this steadiness is exactly what qualifies you to carry what is coming without losing yourself. Anointed one, this season is teaching you how to live without constant reassurance. That is maturity. That is trust refined beyond emotion. When the promise finally unfolds, it will not shock your spirit. It will feel familiar. Because you learned to walk with it long before you held it. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not failing. You are becoming consistent enough to steward abundance without chaos. This phase is shaping your inner world so the outer world does not overwhelm you later. And when movement returns, it will not be frantic. It will be ordered. It will be precise. It will be unmistakably God. Hold steady here, not because you are waiting for permission, but because what is being formed in you right now cannot be rushed. Chosen one. There is a pattern in your life that others often miss, but you have felt it again and again. Doors open for you in ways that do not always make sense on paper. Opportunities appear where others only see dead ends. This is not because your path has been easier. It is because your sight has been trained differently. This is the fifth sign, and it carries quiet authority. You attract opportunities others do not see. Anointed one, I want to speak from lived experience here. I have watched rooms dismiss ideas that later became turning points. I have seen conversations that seemed casual end up reshaping entire seasons of my life. At the time, there was no announcement, no dramatic moment, just a nudge, a sense of pay attention to this. And later, looking back, I realized heaven had been arranging details long before I understood their value. Chosen one, this is how alignment works. Favor rarely arrives loudly. It arrives subtly through timing, discernment, and awareness. While others wait for perfect conditions, you notice potential in unfinished places. You see value where others see inconvenience. That is not optimism, it is vision. Scripture often shows us that provision follows obedience, not certainty. You move because something inside you recognizes opportunity before logic can explain it. Anointed one, you have probably been accused of being lucky, but you know the truth. Luck does not teach you restraint. Favor does. Favor trains you to recognize when to move and when to wait. It sharpens your ability to sense when a door is from God and when it is a distraction dressed as opportunity. This discernment has been built through trial, not theory. Chosen one, even in struggle, doors have not fully closed on you. They may have narrowed, they may have required humility to enter, but they did not disappear. That is because your assignment requires access. Wealth does not come only through effort. It comes through positioning. And your spirit has been positioned to notice what others overlook. Anointed one, this ability will protect you later. When abundance arrives, many will rush toward noise and attention. You will recognize substance. You will know which opportunities multiply and which drain. That discernment is not learned in seasons of ease. It is forged when resources are limited and choices matter. This sign is not about chasing everything that opens. It is about recognizing that heaven has trained your eyes. And as we move forward, you will see why this awareness was necessary before the next sign could emerge. Chosen one. At some point, your path began to separate from what was expected of you. Not all at once, and not without cost. This is the sixth sign, and it often carries misunderstanding before it carries fruit. You were willing to break away from limiting traditions. Anointed one, I know how painful this can be. There is a unique grief that comes from outgrowing familiar paths. Family expectations, cultural norms, inherited beliefs about safety and success all form invisible boundaries. When you step beyond them, you are not just changing direction, you are challenging what others relied on to feel secure. That is why resistance often follows. Chosen one, you were not rebelling, you were responding. Responding to a pull that would not let you stay small. While others around you chose predictability, you felt called toward expansion. This often meant walking alone for a season. Not because you were wrong, but because you were early. Anointed one, I remember realizing that if I followed the same road as everyone before me, I would arrive at the same place. That awareness was sobering. Tradition can be comforting, but it can also become a ceiling. God does not break patterns out of cruelty, He breaks them out of necessity. New outcomes require new obedience. Chosen one, this separation was preparation. It taught you how to stand without approval. It taught you how to trust God when affirmation was absent. These lessons are not optional for those who will carry influence and wealth. Without them, abundance becomes a trap instead of a tool. Anointed one, what others saw as distancing was actually alignment. You were being repositioned so your decisions would not be governed by fear of disappointment. When wealth comes, it demands clarity. It demands the ability to say no, even to familiar voices. God began training you early because your assignment required it. You were never meant to simply inherit what was handed down. You were meant to redefine what would be handed forward. And this break from limitation was not the end of connection. It was the beginning of legacy. Chosen one. There is a reason your early relationship with money was marked by strain rather than ease. This is the seventh sign, and it often confuses people who think favor should remove difficulty. In truth, God allows certain ones to meet lack early, so abundance does not later distort them. You were not being punished, you were being trained. Anointed one, I speak here with deep familiarity. I remember seasons when every decision had weight because resources were thin. Times when I learned to calculate, to wait, to discern necessity from impulse. At the time, it felt like delay. Later, I realized it was discipline. Those seasons taught me how to respect money before ever holding it in excess. They taught me humility that no teaching could replicate. Chosen one, early financial struggle shapes perspective. It forces wisdom to develop before power arrives. When you know what it means to stretch, to prioritize, to go without, you do not waste abundance when it finally appears. You do not chase validation with it. You do not confuse spending with significance. God knew this about you. That is why He trusted you with the lesson before the resource. Anointed one, struggle sharpens discernment. You learn the cost of impatience. You learn how easily fear can speak louder than faith. And yet, you also learn how provision shows up in unexpected ways. A door opens at the last moment. Help arrives through an unplanned channel. Strength appears on days you thought you had none left. These moments are not random. They are God teaching you how He provides, so you will recognize His hand later without panic. Chosen one, I have seen people receive wealth too early and lose themselves inside it. I have seen good intentions collapse under the weight of unprepared abundance. God did not want that for you, so He let you learn stewardship when the stakes were smaller. Every delayed bill, every redirected plan, every season of tightness was refining your ability to carry increase without anxiety. Anointed One, this is why you do not fear responsibility the way others do. You have already been responsible when it was uncomfortable. You have already managed pressure without applause. You have already learned that provision does not come from control, but from alignment. Scripture speaks of those who are faithful with little being entrusted with much, not because little was insignificant, but because it revealed character. Chosen one, your struggle was not a contradiction to your calling, it was confirmation of it. Heaven does not hand generational wealth to someone who has never felt the weight of lack. That kind of wealth requires empathy, restraint, and perspective. You have all three because your journey demanded them. This sign is not about glorifying hardship, it is about recognizing purpose in it. What felt like survival was actually schooling. And as you move forward, you will see that nothing you endured was wasted. It all served the moment when provision shifts from test to trust. Chosen one, your inner world has always been larger than your outer circumstances. This is the 8th sign, and it has been with you since the beginning. You dream bigger than your surroundings, even when those surroundings tried to define you. Long before opportunity matched imagination, your spirit was already reaching beyond what you could see. Anointed One, I remember growing up in environments that did not reflect what I carried inside. Limited thinking, narrow expectations, quiet acceptance of less. Yet my mind refused to stay there. I imagined futures that felt out of place, not because I was disconnected from reality, but because my spirit had already been shown something more. And I know you recognize that tension. Chosen one, these dreams are not fantasies, they are previews. God often reveals outcome before process, so faith has something to anchor to. He shows you what is possible long before he explains how it will happen. That is why your dreams did not shrink, even when your circumstances did. That is why disappointment never erased them. It only delayed their expression. Anointed One, dreaming beyond your environment can feel lonely. When no one around you understands your vision, it can make you question yourself. But every legacy begins with someone willing to see beyond what is normal. Scripture is full of people who carried vision long before provision appeared. They were not delusional, they were aligned. Chosen one, your dreams have always included more than personal comfort. You did not just imagine abundance, you imagined impact, changing lives, creating stability, opening doors for others. That distinction matters. Selfish ambition collapses under pressure. Purpose-driven vision endures. Your dreams survived hardship because they were never rooted in ego. They were rooted in calling. Anointed One, God gives vision first so identity can form before resources arrive. If wealth comes before identity, it confuses. If identity comes first, wealth serves. That is why you were allowed to dream while still lacking. It trained you to separate who you are from what you have. When abundance arrives, it will amplify purpose rather than replace it. Chosen one, do not dismiss the quiet scenes you replay in your mind, the sense of scale, the feeling of expansion. Those are not random thoughts. They are directional. They have guided your decisions even when you did not realize it. They pulled you forward when settling felt easier. They reminded you that your current chapter was not the final one. These visions have been preparing you to recognize opportunity when it finally aligns with capacity. When reality catches up to imagination, you will not panic. You will recognize it, because you have already been there in your spirit. Chosen one, you have reached the end of this message, not because you were curious, but because your spirit recognized what was being spoken. These signs did not come to entertain you, they came to confirm you. Your journey has never been ordinary, and your future will not be shaped by chance. A supernatural transfer is already in motion, and you are standing in your exact Kairos moment, the appointed time where preparation meets release. Anointed One, what has been forming quietly in you is now aligning openly around you. Heaven has marked you as a carrier of legacy, not just provision. The wealth tied to your life is purposeful, clean, and generational. It will arrive in order, not confusion, and it will serve what God entrusted to your spirit long before it touched your hands. Stay faithful, stay disciplined, stay aligned. Gratitude will keep your heart steady as manifestation draws near. If this word settled deeply and you feel led to respond, you may leave a quiet confirmation in the comments or remain connected here as these messages continue to unfold in your season. And remember, God's reminders are not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes something simple has been gently prepared in the pinned comment or description, ready for moments when your heart needs steadiness. Go forward in peace, chosen one. What is written is now unfolding.